Hi everyone. It's Misty. Let's see where to begin. I'm a little dejected, quite frankly. YouTube is upset about me. They're upset at me for some hate speech about maybe a particular religion. And then they're also upset with me about my last video um, about the W word and the B word. You'll have to scroll through because evidently I can't see it. If you are talking about a pestilence or like a nuclear war or a problem, a global human problem that must be dealt with. I don't know how you talk about that problem without saying the word that means the problem. I'm gonna call it here the patriarchal appendage. Okay? Let's call it a patriarchal appendage because I don't think that YouTube can censor me for saying patriarchal appendage, but it's the patriarchal appendage. I can't really describe my life without talking about the patriarchal appendage. First of all, I was born to parents that were deeply disappointed with my lack of a patriarchal appendage. And my life was difficult as a female. It's not just a me problem. The patriarchal appendage is a problem that all 4 billion women have to deal with. And that means you lesbians, you don't just get to get out of the problem. It is a problem. And the reason why I was talking about it a week ago, was because of Swalwell and I don't know, Gonzalez or whatever the Texas Republican was. Both had to resign because of their problems with their behavior, with their patriarchal appendages. Now, I was born without a patriarchal appendage, which is why my parents hated me. Okay, and then they hated me because I had, let's say, too much patriarchal appendages when I got pregnant in high school. Okay, so, it's hard for me to and plus I had a not quite a 20-year career in the let's see, what can I say, the art of look, I don't know what I can say and what I can't say. Maybe I will go to Rumble. I've heard that YouTube is dead and Rumble killed it, and you can say whatever you want to say on Rumble, and they're not going to censor you. But I have a bone to pick with Stephen Crowder. Stephen Crowder, a friend of mine, somebody that I support and watch on a daily basis. Just because a man is a misogynist and hates women, you can't. A woman is unable to live her life avoiding misogynists. This is not just my problem. All women have to deal with misogyny. We have to deal with the fact that men hate us. And this is all to varying degrees. They want us to to submit to their needs, and we also have to deal with their negative thoughts about us. We really can't do anything right. The only thing we can do right is be a virgin, and that's encouraged in the Bible. All the ways, the horrible ways that women are treated are all justifiable in that Bible, which is why I'm rewriting it, and I can't really talk too much about it. I don't want to give too much of it away. But my bone to pick with Steven Crowder is a quote that he made this week. Now, I don't know if it's really difficult for me. Usually, with Crowder, you can skip his, absolutely terrible misogyny, because it's usually in the title, and I can just not watch those particular episodes, or not episodes. I don't have Rumble. They're just videos. They're just like 15-minute videos of his show. And if it's a title that says he's going to be knocking women, I usually am able to skip it. But I was curious about a woman he was talking about this week, who was trying to say a third testament, and this lady, a black lesbian woman who was married to a gay guy. Her name was, what was her name? Her last name started with an F. I don't remember her name. I'll go back. Maybe I'll put a link in the description about this episode. But I think it was that episode or that video where Stephen said, and I quote, "Women don't work as well together because they haven't gone through their entire life with a conditioning of a fluid hierarchical structure." Now, Stephen, could that possibly be that there is no divine feminine in the Bible, that you've eliminated females from even creation? If you want to talk about the lack of female accountability, men, the patriarchy, have not given us accountability for the things that we actually are accountable for. Childbirth. There's horrible mothers. There's I was watching PBD podcast the other day, and he was talking about a mother who was advertising her 9-month-old child for purposes that were a horrible mother. There's no beyond giving birth, there is no point of mothering, or no real mention of mothering, or the importance of being a good mother in the Bible at all. And our society is founded around this fucking book that doesn't give us any credit for the things that we do, doesn't describe the things that we should be doing. And then we get this quote that we don't work well together because we don't have a hierarchy. Women attack each other. There's cat fighting. I think in the show they were talking about how women hate each other, can't work with each other, and this is all true. But it all comes from this biblical setup And this is why the Bible has to be rewritten. I guess that's all I wanted to say today. It's almost midnight right now. By the time it's up, it'll be Thursday. I've been very late on my videos because I'm dejected because YouTube won't let me say what I want to say. Maybe I will get on Rumble. Maybe I'll get on Rumble and just not be censored. All I want to do is be able to confront some of these issues without being censored. This is why, you know, my parents hate me because they don't like what I say. I'm censored. Censorship has been a huge deal to me, and like, what would a man say? Misty, maybe what you say is wrong or evil or bad or whatever, but I guess that shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. The church shouldn't be able to stop me from we do have freedom of speech. It's in the Constitution, right? We're supposed to be able to, what you're supposed to be able to say is not the things you like, the things that you don't like. That's what freedom of speech is all about, right? So if you're seeing this, you are a very committed and dedicated watcher of my content, and I appreciate you being here. My next video is going to be very long. I'm going to cut this off pretty soon. I've spoken of my mother as an evil person, but let's just give her like at least, it's going to take at least an hour to talk about her origin story. I'm not even going to talk about what she has done to me. I'm just going to talk about her origin story and how she took down her micro patriarch, you know, her own father in the 60s. It really wasn't her fault. It was more her mother's fault and her older sister's fault. Mom was just 10 when they got rid of him. And then they got rid of her sister too. My grandfather was a Christian, and you can't have Christianity and liberalism living in the same house. So that was a bad luck for my grandfather. Also because he had sort of the same, you know, when I did the video about my father, we were talking about male biased sperm, and you know how having male biased sperm is sort of a rite of passage, or it's not a rite of passage because not everybody can do it. Some men just don't have maleness in their sperm. And I'll be talking about maleness in the sperm when I talk about Dale Bryant also, which is another upcoming video. But let's do an origin story about Thurston County, Washington, and you know, fish ends, and the woke virus started in 1979 in Wisconsin. That's where things were woke started becoming law. But Thurston County, Washington, and Evergreen College is where woke really started infiltrating and experimenting about putting woke in the education system in the schools. So we'll talk about my family connection to Evergreen College. We're going to talk about how my mother became evil and got rid of the patriarchy, and that's how she became the liberal queen of feminism, while my father had to become her whipping boy. I really struggled to call him evil, but he did pick her. And there is some evidence that he picked her because he's evil. So I don't have any problem with villainizing my dad. And if you have seen that video, you'll know that I mean, that's the conclusion that I came to, is that, yeah, an evil person doesn't pick an evil person unless they're evil. So I hate to talk about my mother because I do hate her so much, and there's no excuse for what she's done to me personally. But let's get into how liberal people destroy the patriarchy. And I want the patriarchy to survive. I just want the what did we call it? We called it the patriarchal appendage to stop being as much of a problem as it is. And life begins at cooperation between two sexes. That's how life begins. And it's not through one gendered God. It's through cooperation of two opposite genders. So let's just have some cooperation. And the W word and the B word needs to be confronted and talked about, because it is a problem, and it has been a problem for millennia. And we are supposed to finally be at a point where females can talk about it as a problem. But YouTube doesn't like the use of those words, so I'll try to, I guess, do better at talking about the appendage without talking about the appendage. I would argue, if I could make an argument to the YouTube gods that these things need to be talked about, and it's sexist for you to censor that. But they've left the video up. It's just that it's shadow banned. So you're probably not going to see this video. It won't be surprising that that there's no views on the video. It didn't take me long to for people to censor me, but that tells me that there's something that needs to be said. So with that, I'm gonna wrap it up, and I guess look forward to the origin story of the villain Barb Shipman. I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot, you guys. Bye bye.